Hello everybody, my name is Goll and I'm a teacher here at North Bend Middle School. Today I just want to give a brief introduction to how the school year is going to look, at least how it's going to start, because we definitely hope that it doesn't finish the way it starts. We hope that this is just a short period of time that we're going to be in this learning mode, but for some of us maybe we're just choosing to do this online adventure for the entire year, and that's okay. I just want to talk about how it's going to look and sort of how it's going to progress. So again, my name's Goll. I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade math. If you don't know me, I grew up here. I've lived here most of my life except for the times that I went away for college. And I'm actually still, the beauty that I kind of think about this online learning platform is that I'm actually an online student as we speak. I'm actually one class away from getting my master's in math, and so here's hoping that we can all have a successful online learning experience together. So what you see in front of you is my website. This is the website that I have for kind of everything. I mean, you can go through some different areas of here, and there's some things that we won't be using, but they're on this website. You can go look into them if you want to. I've used this website for a number of years, and really for a bunch of different resources and reasons as well, because my job title has changed multiple times. So from this first page, you can see there's some different links, and we'll take a look at all of those. The start here is definitely where I want you to start. I'm going to go over it, but just in case you forget something that I've said here or what, it will be in this start here link where that takes you. But looking at more of the home page, this is a picture that will be updated as we go through the class. There's a bunch of different aspects to this, so for most of it's just aesthetics. It just looks cool, so that's why it's on there. But there are a few important things that I do have on here, and some things that'll be there in the future. First of all, the Google Classroom codes based on what period you're in. So I have first period, second period, third period, and fourth period. They're all listed there, and these are the classroom codes. If you click that, it's going to, and it would probably be different if I was in my student account. But if you click that, it should take you to your Google Classroom as a student. Now, if you're a parent watching this, sorry, but that's probably not going to work too well for you. But students, if you click on those links, it should give you a prompt to open up or to join the class as soon as you click on that. So click on that link, and it's going to let you join the Google Classroom, and yeah, it should work out just fine. The rest of the important stuff, I guess, that's in here is a sort of a breakdown of, this will be the first week that we're in class. It's actually incorrect a little bit, so I'm going to go back through and change that. But it'll be constantly updated with the classroom portion, followed by the homework portion, what I expect you to do outside of class. Okay, and I use the terms class and homework, knowing that yes, we are 100% online right now. This is what we're doing, but the class time means that scheduled period of first, second, third, and fourth period. When you are scheduled to be in a meeting with me, that's what we're going to be doing in that time. Okay. The homework part is what you're going to be doing in the afternoons when you would normally do homework, in a quiet space with your independent work, I should say. So that's what we're looking at. That, like I said, that does need to be updated. The other aspect is, if you have any questions, whether you're a student or a parent, you can always click on my picture here, my little guy, and it's going to take you to this Google form. Okay, this Google form, once you submit it, sends me an email, tells me, hey, somebody has a question, and it lets me know what your question is and how I can best serve you. The beauty with this Google form is, to the best of my knowledge, I don't think you have to have any kind of North Bend email, North Bend Google account. No matter what, it's going to send me the results from this. Okay, I haven't had any issues so far. If we have an issue, you can feel free to get in touch with me through another avenue, whether it's direct email from the middle school directory. You can get my email from there, or give me a phone call, whatever it takes. But this form is a great way that if you're unsure how to get a hold of me, you should be able to fill it out. So you fill out your email address, your name, your student's name. So like if a parent or a family member wants to ask me a question, they can put their name here and say that my student is so-and-so, what class you're asking me about, what class your student is in, and then your email address that you or some other preferred contact information, you can put it there, and then write what your question, comment, or concern is, just to kind of give me an idea of what we're going to be talking about when I find a better time to get a hold of you. Emails, I'm very quick to respond to. Phone calls, I tend to bounce around between rooms a lot, so email's definitely preferred. Scrolling down, there's a camera roll of my family and I. So you can check that out if you want to. Let's first take a look at the start here. So the video that I'm currently recording will be input into this spot right here. That's kind of always the problem with trying to record a video and show the page that it's when I try to show the page that it's supposed to be on, that's kind of an issue because you don't see it there because it's not there yet, because we're recording the thing right now. But I just have some ideas that I want to run by you, some things that I think could help you out. And I will say that it's not for me being a teacher, it's actually for me being a student, being an online student, because I've been an online student for the last 4 years trying to get my master's in math, like I said. And these are all things that I think help me be a better online student, so I want to share them with you. Treat the class like it's a real class. And what I mean by that is pretend that you are, you're looking like, or you're thinking like this is a classroom that I'm sitting in. This is what it looks like. This is how things go. I had some hiccups in the past with some of my classes. I was like, well, it's just an online class. What's it really going to matter? I realized that was a bad way to go, so I learned my lesson. Hold yourself accountable. Kind of set yourself up with the mindset that you want this to be a meaningful experience, and hold yourself to that. Okay, if none of us are trying to just jump through hoops here. We're trying to get the most out of every class and get some real content knowledge. So hold yourself accountable to that idea. Practicing time management is a huge thing. You have to lay out your day. The school tries to do some of that for you, but I think there's more than just me, more than just the math department. We're kind of taking things a little bit differently as far as what the class time looks like and the at-home time looks like. So set yourself up with kind of a schedule and get on more of a routine, because that's really what we all hate to do, but it's what we need to do. Create a dedicated study space. I mean, if I had a great way to show you, I'd show you mine. I have a huge desk that I've had to kind of adopt into my study habits, because you can't see it, but on this side is my teaching stuff. This is where all my teaching stuff is, and then over here is dedicated for the stuff that I'm learning. And I have to have it that way so that I can switch gears really fast. But that idea with creating a dedicated study space is that you don't want your study space to be your bed, right? We don't want to be laying in bed, attending classes. That doesn't get your mind right for what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Now, your bed can be, but you have to do some modifications and and have a writing space, have a space for your computer or Chromebook. But we want to make that as official as a study space as we can. And the biggest thing that I've learned is separate your study space from your other activities space, whatever those may be, whether it's your free time activities. For me, it's my sleeping, because if my study space and my sleeping space are the same spot, which I have had that before, I tend to fall asleep when I'm working way too much. So have those be separate spaces. And I've seen a lot of posts out there, especially since everybody's doing this online education thing, like putting up little accordion divider walls somewhere to, like I said, separate those spaces, make them be different spaces so that you get the most out of each space. Okay. In your study area, eliminate distractions. If it means putting a cell phone away, if it means turning a TV off, do what you have to do to eliminate distractions and be focused on what you're doing. Because I'll tell you, the better focus you can have on your study time, the shorter that study time takes, then more time you get to spend doing the other things. Okay? Again, lessons that I've learned in way too many years of trial and error with being an online student. The last one that I'll say is, when it comes to online education, you have to actively participate. You have to be a member of that classroom, not just a face on a screen. You have to engage with other students. You have to engage with your teachers. That's the only way that you're going to get the most out of this, is if you put the most into it. Okay, and that, again, that's not just me saying that from a teacher's standpoint, even though I could. That's what I'm doing, but also from a student standpoint. And then to talk about this class really quick, it's going to follow a flipped classroom model. And really what that means is, typically in a traditional class, the in-class stuff, to say it in one word, is notes. The at-home part is problems. Okay? That's what all those kind of mean, and I have it worded differently there, but in the most traditional and easiest way to say it is notes or lecture here, homework here. We're going to flip that around. And when you are with me in, whether it's, once we get to hybrid, it's a in-class model, but for right now in distance learning, it's some sort of video conferencing. We're going to use Google Meets. So when you're in a meeting with me, instead of doing notes and lecture here, we're going to do questions and problems and things that I can actually interact with you to do. Now what that means, this is math class. We don't really get away from the note-taking thing, but I have moved that to be your homework. So when you're in the afternoons or evenings, maybe sometime that not everybody in the house is sucking up all the internet bandwidth, I'm going to assign that you watch a video and take your notes and do all those things when you don't have me readily available. Then once you've seen it, and whether you understand it or don't, that's going to happen on any given section. The things that you don't understand is going to be a smaller list than everything that we covered, I hope. And then when you get to class the next day, I will have a time that you can ask me those questions. So everything this does is it makes it to where I feel like I'm more available to you to answer the questions that you have on the math content. Okay, so that's going to be the model that this class follows. Let's look at the web pages, at least for Math 7 and Math 8. So starting right now, if you're an 8th grader or an 8th grade family member, you can go ahead and tune out or listen, because it's going to be about the same. So I'm going to cover some things, and I'm going to cover most things really quickly. So really all I'm talking about, I'm not talking about content right now. I'm talking about the layout of the class and the website. So this is the Math 7 homepage. There's a calendar of the things that we're going to be doing. And there's also tabs that go to lectures and notes, as well as the syllabus down below. I'm going to leave it to you to read that. I've pretty much talked through most of it, so I still want you to look at it, see if you have any other questions though. On the lectures tab, I have something in there at least. I have our Math 7 1.1 lecture, and that's just a video that you can pull up and watch. And if I go back to the Math 7 homepage, I can go to the notes, and that's where I'm going to put PDF copies of all the note pages that we do. You can also bounce between those with these two links right here. Okay. Math 8 is pretty much mimicked. I did that on purpose to where there wasn't a whole lot of differentiated visuals. You know, here you have the calendar, what I expect you to be doing, and this kind of lays out everything that I have in this view. You can look at a weekly view. Obviously this is this week, so there's nothing. It's a little bit harder to read though, but you can see what we have scheduled for the class time. You know, class, we're welcome to distance learning. Your homework is going to be a scavenger hunt. Okay. So then again, you have the lectures tab where it's taking you to just a Dropbox of all the lectures, and as well as the notes and a Dropbox of the notes. Don't be concerned, it says 2.1. Math 8, we're starting in Unit 2. So that's about all there is there. The last thing I want to take a look at is the Google Classroom for each one of these. I guess I need to get to my classes. So here I am on my student account. So I'm looking at this in terms of the student. If I'm in 8th grade, maybe I'll focus on that a little bit more. Like I said, we're going to be using Google Meet when class time comes. So I've signed up for whatever class period I'm in. I'm saying that right now I'm an 8th grader in first period. So I have my Google Meet link. If I notice on the stream, there's the syllabus here. If I want to take a look at that there, it was also on the Math 8 page. Again, redundancy, I have things everywhere just to where I know that somehow we should be able to see it. Most of the stuff that you're going to be assigned is in the classwork tab. So if I go to this section 2.1, it's a Google form that I'll have to open up. Okay, and it says what account I am. This is the lecture video for section 2.1. If you're just working from Google Classroom, your lecture videos will be in the Google Forms. Now, if you went to my website first and watched the 2.1 video, good for you. That's one way that you can do it, and that's okay, and filled out the notes and all that. You could probably come here and not watch the video here. But then I have a couple questions about the video that I want you to answer. Okay, and for now, they're pretty basic questions. Sometimes they might get a little bit more difficult and challenging. Okay, and again, I can go out of here and I can go to my 7th grade class. If you're a 7th grader or a family member of a 7th grader, it pretty much looks the same. Only difference is based on what period you're in, your Google Meet link will be different. But other than that, most of the stuff is relatively the same. This is going to open up as a Google form. The lecture video is right here. You'll want to watch that before you do it. And that's about it. So again, I have things in a lot of different locations. I do that on purpose. I kind of overkill the redundancy issue so that I know that somehow somebody should be able to get the information. Students, you can get it very easily from the Google Classroom. Parents, you can get all your information on this website. So, I mean, not that I need you to, but you could favorite this website, you know, put it on your bookmarks, something like that, just to get it somewhere that it's easily accessible. It will be continuously updated throughout the year. Okay? All right. Well, I think I've talked for long enough. If you have any questions, again, you can fill out the Contact Me Google form. You can send me an email. Again, I'm just trying to make it easier for you to get in touch with me. So pick your favorite way to do so. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm excited for this year. I think we're going to have a great time. And you know, the biggest thing with distance learning is that we're all learning how to do it together. Okay, I have a lot of experience with being a distance student. The college that I'm going through is in Kansas. I've never put a foot on the campus, and I'm about to finish my 4th year there. So, we're all learning how to do it and how to succeed with it together. So I'm excited. I hope you're ready for this adventure, and I hope you have a good day. We'll see you in class. Have a good one.